What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Room over Ipswich. This is episode number 4, and we're coming off the back of a very rough episode 3. And, well, kind of living form that I expect us to run throughout this season, being the lowest ranked side in the Premier League. We lost all 3 of our league games. It was rough. We did make it through to the Cup fourth round, which is something, I guess. We beat League 2 side Harrogate, but I'm not too fussed about that cup. Jack Clark did pick up a 5-day injury, but luckily he is back and fit, ready for the first game of today's episode. We have a few players coming to us and saying, look, they want some game time. I'm quite happy with our set 11 at the moment. I might look to change the formation slightly at some point because I'm not seeing too much from my wingers. I'm not going to change things just yet because we're still in the early days, but it's just something for note. But in terms of the 11, I'm quite happy with it. I'm not seeing too much from Calvin Phillips, actually. I don't really have any plans to turn his loan into a permanent deal, although I don't think we probably would have been able to afford to do that anyway. But going into today's episode, it is a huge one, to be honest. We've got that fourth round cup tie against Southampton, but we have 3 massive Premier League games. Everton, Brentford and Leicester, all teams that are in the bottom half of the table with us. And that bottom half is looking quite tight right now. It is quite compact, so these games are huge for us. As we mentioned, when we faced the likes of Man City and Liverpool in the first couple of games, those weren't games that we were expecting to pick up points in. These games are, and as you would have seen that stat pop up, we are the lowest scorers in the league right now. Not surprising though, as I mentioned, we're the lowest ranked team. We have the lowest budget in the league. 2 years ago, we were a League One side, right? We haven't been in the Premier League for 20 years, but this is the challenge. This is what I'm here for, guys. I am absolutely relishing this challenge of being in a dogfight, scrapping for every ball, every shot, every goal, every point. I am here for it. Well, 10 minutes to go before the break, and Everton would find the lead. Idrissa Gana Gay with a long range effort, which actually was a great shot. And what you're seeing there is what we changed in the last episode in full effect. We moved the sliders up, and one of the sliders that we moved up was the AI. In the AI behavior was the shot frequency. We put that up because I felt like the AI weren't having enough shots, and there you'll see it, a pop shot from distance that goes into the top corner, and Everton led. But their lead wouldn't last long, and on the stroke of half time, 3 minutes into 5 added on, Sammy Schmodux would carry on his good form from the last episode after his goal and man of the match performance against Harrogate. We rewarded him with a start in this game, and he would bring us level after a corner was a header was saved by Pickford. Smodix with the rebound, and it just went in, as you would have seen the goal line technology there. And we would go into the break level, and then into the second half. Smodix had a header. Oh my word, sorry, had a header go just wide before his shot was saved well by Jordan Pickford. But we would take the lead from the resulting corner. Murray Hutchinson in to Liam Delap, and Delap would grab his 3rd goal of the season with a towering header. And Everton are punished for not putting a player on both posts. They had a man on the front post, but not on the back, and they are punished for that. For me, I'm always thinking, if I'm a manager, whether it's in-game or in real life, obviously I know you can't affect it in-game, but I would always have a player on each post because I just think it adds, you basically got 3 players on the line, right, including your goalkeeper that can keep the ball out, and it just does. I don't know why you wouldn't have a player on the post. It's the same as zonal marking. I do not understand zonal marking because all you're doing is you're allowing players to run towards you, have momentum with their jump, and they're going to beat you to the ball. I never understood why managers went with zonal marking. Sorry. Unfortunately, you would have seen we did not see this one out. Ben Johnson, after a great sliding tackle, gave the ball away, and Everton punished us as any top flight side would, and Beto would grab the goal, and he would level with just 5 minutes to go, and the game ended 2 apiece. A disappointing one after leading late. I felt like we were much the better side, but top flight teams, they're clinical, right? Even the teams that are lower down in the league, they are clinical. And we're still winners at home after 4 matches. That's now 2 draws, 2 defeats at Portman Road. But at least we got on the score sheet today, right? First goal for over 3 games and another point on the board. Another point to safety, as we mentioned. We're fighting for every point. We're fighting for everything here. And that point will help us go towards safety. And as you can see there, we are 18th right now in the relegation zone, just 5 points on the board after 8 games, just 6 goals scored. The second worst defence as well. But we're here for the challenge, guys. I absolutely love it. And the game we've got coming up next is a massive one. Brentford, the Bees, at the G-Tech Community Stadium. They are 2 places above us, 1 point ahead of us. It is a huge game already, as we reject a bid here from Leganes for Christian Burgess. Before we get our second lot of scouting reports from Egypt and Kosovo, a lot of Ibrahim's in the Egypt scouting report. Taha looking okay. A couple of them aren't going to quite cut it. I feel like I'm going to be quite ruthless with who we cut and who we carry on scouting here and who we give scholarships to, because we're in the Premier League now, right? I want best of the best. And if a player's got quite a low overall, it's just going to take them time to get into the side. And I know that we've already got one player who's 55 rated in the youth academy, but I am going to be kind of ruthless with the rest of them. And there weren't too many from the Egypt scouting report in the second month. Over in Kosovo, though, a couple of players looking decent. Not too bad. Hiker had a downgrade after the first month. He actually looked like he had decent potential. Joel Gashi we reject. Leka Bereshi, again, not a great potential. Drion Hiker. We will continue to scout these 4 for now, but I'm not filled with confidence from any of them. In fact, actually, yeah, we'll get rid of Berama. We'll get rid of Gashi as well. As I said, guys, I'm going to be cutthroat here. I will be cutthroat. Yeah, and whilst we've got this scout report going on, I do just want to mention that over half of you, just under half of you aren't subscribed to the channel. Now, it just takes a second to subscribe, and by subscribing, what you'll do is you'll get notified. Well, my videos when they're uploaded, they will come into your sub box. You won't miss an episode of this series. We're uploading pretty regularly, so you don't want to miss any of the content. You don't want to be catching up. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we're on the road to 1,000 subs as well, right? So you want to be a part of that journey. You want to join in. You want to subscribe. Make sure you hit that sub button and become a member of the Junior Parado. I don't know what we would be, actually. The Junior Parado Army. I guess when I streamed on Twitch, my community, people called me JP, so I kind of called my community the J-Peeps. Maybe my YouTube community could be the J-Peeps as well. Who knows? Well, going into the second game of the episode, as we mentioned, it is a huge one. Brentford at the G-Tech. They are 2 places above us. This could be a big relegation 6-pointer already. I feel like we've got so many, potential relegation 6-pointers, and we're what, in September, October? It's crazy, but this is where we are with Ipswich, right? And we are unchanged from the side that did draw with Everton. And, well, Jack Clark would actually have a really good opportunity. He made the underlapping run on Liam Delap, but Clark's effort is well saved. And then Igor, the Brazilian, goes for the lob here. Muric, though, stands tall and catches the ball. That's the first time I feel like that's changed in FC25. That's something I've noticed. In FC24, when the AI attempted to lob you, it went in, right? I just felt like that never really happened when Muric, where our goalkeeper would stand tall. It happened there, and I like it. I like to see it. Going into injury time, Mbeumo would be driving forward and Leif Davis with a clinical foul. And to be honest, I was very happy with this foul because Mbeumo looked like he was going to run through on goal. It wasn't a red card offence because there was cover, but it definitely was a dangerous position, and I would take a yellow card for our left back there, as Visser is laid off the ball in injury time, and that is the tamest shot. And to be honest, that shot summed up the game. You would have noticed there weren't many highlights in this one, but it's because it was a dead game. Neither team going for it. It kind of felt like neither team knew, like both teams wanted to play for this one like they knew they couldn't lose it, right? Neither wanted to take the risk and lose it. And as you see there, Muric with the man of the match performance, 3 saves, says it all, really. One of those saves was that Visser shot in injury time. So we take another point. It's a clean sheet, our first clean sheet of the season, actually. Muric's first clean sheet of the season. It's another point, 2 points from 2 games now. You would have heard as well, there were boos at full time from the home fans. They weren't happy with that result, drawing to a newly promoted Ipswich side. But we remain in 18th place on 6 points. It's so tight down there, though. From Wolves in bottom to Everton up in 13th, I think there's 3 points. So every point matters, as Massimo Luongo comes to us and says, look, boss, I'm loving my football here in Ipswich. Can I get a contract extension? I'm not too sure I'm going to give it to him, I'll be honest. We know Burgess, we've added him to the transfer list, so we've got Luongo and Tuanzebe to deal with. And I haven't really been convinced by either of them, to be honest. I'm still waiting. I'm going to give them opportunities this season for them to prove themselves. Obviously, if a club wants to come in and sign a pre-contract with them, they can, as Napoli come to us and say they aren't impressed with Kajuste's lack of games. Yeah, I haven't really been playing him, I'll be honest. And when I have played him, haven't been too impressed. So, yeah, they may recall him in January. That is a possibility. But in terms of Luongo and Tuanzebe, I'm going to wait for them to... I'm going to give them opportunities like this game here, the fourth and final game of the episode. Third game of the episode. They are going to get an opportunity to start in this one and prove maybe why they should be starting in the league. But I'm not going to jump to give them contract extensions just yet. Well, as mentioned, this is the third game of the episode. We're facing Southampton in the Carabao Cup fourth round. This is a familiar feeling because we travelled to Southampton in the last episode and they thrashed us 3-0. It wasn't really a 3-0 game, but Joe Aribo in particular was starring and he was firing on all cylinders. 2 assists and a goal for the ex-Rangers midfielder as Southampton got their first and only win so far of the season. Well, we would make 11 changes as we always do in the cup competitions. The league is our focus right now, especially in this cup where we don't have an objective for this one. The FA Cup, the board want us to reach the last 16, and again, that is a low-ranked objective, so even if we don't achieve that, it doesn't really matter. This one, it doesn't matter if we win this competition or go out in the second round to a League 2 team. It won't affect our board's objectives. So we do make 11 changes, and of course, if we go on a little cup run, that would be great, but all my eggs are in the league basket, right? Survival is key for us. And Southampton, perhaps the strongest side, definitely the strongest side on paper. They actually didn't make as many changes as we did. They would take a 1-0 lead. An absolute mess at the back between our goalkeeper and 2 defenders before Adam Armstrong would slot home. He scored against us in the league. He now scores against us in the cup. And that's the first goal we've conceded in the cup competition. Walton had kept 2 clean sheets up until now, but he doesn't keep a third. And then in the second half, George Hurst with a really good opportunity down the left-hand side. He fires a shot which Lumley saves before Southampton had a late chance here, but it goes just wide, firing into the away end. Can we get one final chance? Hurst wins the ball. Up to Broadhead, the substitute. Nathan, what can you do? Taking on Walker Peters. Go on, Nathan. You've beaten him. Can you get a cross in? Oh, God. No. And, oh, God, that was a bit risky from Lumley. The referee blows full time. He calls full time on our Carabao Cup journey. It ends at the 4th round. We won 2 games. We lost at the 3rd attempt. Another 1-0 scoreline. That was the scoreline of all 3 of our cup games, actually. We lose 1-0 to Southampton. That's the second time already this season we've lost to the Saints. I'm not too fussed, to be honest. We were really poor in this game, but I'm not too fussed about going out of this competition. As we mentioned, it doesn't really matter too much what we do in this comp. And kind of talking about, what we do in this competition, what our aims are. As Camille comments here, he said, "What is the general aim of this career mode? Is it a trophy? Is it reaching Europe? Is it winning the league? Becoming one of the best teams in the world? What's the aim?" And I'll say my aim. It was a really good question, and I kind of did consider it. And I think my aim, after a couple of people commented as well, a couple of Ipswich fans, as we see Bradley Mann here from Aidan Cole's scouting report in England, he looks like a class player. We're definitely going to sign him up. My aim for me is, I reckon, to either win a competition, probably one of the cups, or get into Europe. I think that's a fair aim because it'll probably be like a 4 to 5 year kind of target. Or it obviously all relies on if we can stay up this season. It is going to be a big challenge. Hopefully we can stay up. But for me, I think the aim is, maybe reach Europe or like win an FA Cup or something. That would be class. Ipswich obviously haven't won a major like a cup competition in a long time, so it'd be cool to win some to bring some silverware back to Portman Road or some European football as well. As Austin Adams looks like another class player from the English scouting report. Yeah, so I really appreciate that comment from Camille. A really great question as well. And guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think my aim should be for this career mode? Should we be going all the way and aiming for a league title? Should we be aiming for the Champions League? Should we just be aiming to become a regular Premier League side? Let me know in the comments what you think our aim for this career mode should be, as Ellis Pryor looks like another great player. decent potential and overall could be pretty good as well. I reckon we'll scout him for one more month and then see what the report is looking. But he is looking like potentially another great signing. As we see here, the board's objective for us to bring in 2 youth players in the defender position has already been achieved. And the youth development was the main objective for the board. So I'm glad that we've got that in the bank already. And we are 90. The board overall confidence rating is 91 with us now. As we see, we've now got 4 players in the youth academy. We just need a goalkeeper to be able to play the youth tournaments, which I am very excited to do. It's a new feature EA have implemented into their game. You can play youth tournaments with your players in the youth academy and up their potential ratings, which is such a cool feature. So I can't wait to bring in a goalkeeper and then try this one out. As we see Bradley Mann, 63 overall. He looks like he could be class. Austin Adams looks like he could be decent. Obviously, a very low potential, a very low overall isn't great. But maybe once we get into those youth tournaments, his overall may increase. As we see on the social media feed, the Athletic bigging up this game between Ipswich and Leicester, 2 of the sides that got promoted last season that faced off in such a brilliant and enthralling title battle in the Championship. It was between Ipswich and Leicester and Leeds, really. Before Leeds fell off, and it was just between Ipswich and Leicester. Leicester went up automatically along with Ipswich, both finishing in those automatic promotion places. Leicester have settled into life in the Premier League very well. The Foxes, 3 wins, 3 draws, 3 defeats, already 12 points on the board. They are settling back into life well. Of course, they were an established side and even won the competition in the 2015-2016 season. What a famous league victory that was. Probably the most famous Premier League title of all time. Well, as you see here, the team's looking pretty strong. Steve Cooper now managing Leicester. Obviously, used to manage Nottingham Forest, now managing their rivals Leicester, but he seems to be doing all right at the King Power Stadium. For us, we went with the same 11 that drew the 2 league games in this episode. I'm pretty happy with how the team's looking. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, I might tweak the formation slightly. If you have any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I was thinking maybe bringing in the wingers just to be a bit more narrow, like the 4-2-3-1 narrow formation, because Clark and Hutchinson have a lot of potential. They have a lot of ability, but I'm not seeing too much from them at the moment. So potentially we'll go to a 4-2-3-1 narrow as we see Leicester take the lead in the second half. The first half was pretty quiet, but the second half the Foxes would pounce and Fatawu would receive the pass from Daka and put his side 1-0 up. You saw Delap and Davis linking up as well for an opportunity. I like them 2 linking up. I feel like they are kind of the new Mendy Mullin combination. If you watch the Realistic Remote Wrexham on FC25, you'll understand that reference. Those 2 were smashing, especially the early seasons in our Realistic Remote with Wrexham. Well, Delap actually had a really good chance. Hutchinson found him with a ball in behind. He opted to take it first time as it's all kicking off on the sidelines. I'm arguing with Steve Cooper as Dara O'Shea, his frustrations clearly shown with the late tackle, receiving a booking in practically the last kick of the game. As Winks lays it off to Mavididi, shot saved by Muric, but the referee blows full time. Yeah, our best chance of the game was that opportunity where Hutchinson found Delap in behind. I should have taken a touch. Delap opted to shoot on the half volley on his left foot, which was questionable. And we lose the game at 1-0. So yet to taste victory at home now after 5 attempts, 2 draws, 3 defeats. And to be honest, a really bad episode for us, right? Dumped out of the cup, which I'm not too fussed about, but 3 huge games against teams that were around us in the league, and we didn't win any of them. These games are huge for us. These are the ones where we have to be picking up points. In the first 2, 2 draws against Everton and Brentford, not the worst results, but Leicester at home, we need to be picking up at least a point in that game. And as you'll see in the league table here, as Connor Chaplin says he wants more game time, we are in the relegation zone, but it is still tight. 2 points separating Bournemouth in 14th and Wolves in 20th as Everton have moved up a little bit and created a bit of a gap for them. But we're 10 games into the season, guys. It's still very early doors. We have 28 games to go. It is plenty of football still to play. As you can see, Liverpool, the remaining unbeaten side at the top of the table. But that'll be it for today's episode, guys. Episode 4. I hope you're enjoying the series as much as I am. Drop a like on the video if you're enjoying it. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. Road to 1,000 subs. And I'll see you in episode 5 very soon.